It's a brutal era of endless war. The forces of chaos pour forth from the north, ravenously devouring the once mighty empire. But one intrepid leader seeks to unite and save all humankind, and purge every last vestige of chaos from the world.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Emperor Karl Franz campaign. For anyone new, this is a campaign where we have eliminated the steamrolling effect that happens so often in vanilla. We are using mods that slow down your campaign movement range, reduce replenishment, make garrisons more difficult, things like that, to turn this into more of a proper brutal Total War experience. So, strategically, we had a pretty productive episode last time. We did come up here and take Delbers. After the big one, I guess, is actually that we reconquered Altdorf, which had been occupied by the Black Pit tribe. So, right now, those people who are remaining, who hadn't fled the first time from Altdorf, are now absolutely celebrating that they're back in control of their proper overlords, that being us. We have a rebellion over here that's about to happen in Marienburg, so we need to race Emperor Karl Franz over in that direction to deal with that. We need to hold on to Delbers with these two armies up here, and I have an idea about that I'll mention in just a moment. We have a rebellion down here that we have to deal with, and then we have over here a threatening situation where Wulfric has taken her gig and is close enough to attack Talabheim. Now, Talabheim's garrison, if you recall, I just mentioned that we are using mods that strengthen garrisons. Talabheim's garrison is quite strong, and on top of that, we've got this emergency army that we just threw together to kind of help defend it, making a lot of spearmen here in the one turn that we've had so far to recruit, because this army's got a lot of mammoths. Now, we did a lot of damage to him when he took her gig, so he's got these two armies here that used to be two full stacks, and obviously they're quite a bit diminished at this point, but you know, even this reduced army is absolutely nothing to sneeze at, because yeah, Wulfric himself is level 42, 6 mammoths, pretty strong. However, that being said, I don't know how quickly they can recruit in here, but I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to hold Talabheim for another turn or two while they're trying to grow that. And what I'm hoping is to be able to kind of turn the tides over here and maybe be able to threaten Wulfric in some other areas. So on that note, I guess I should just also mention one other thing. We're currently at peace right now with both Sylvania and Scrag. They're kind of fighting back and forth over territory over here, which is largely, you know, properly Empire territory. So at some point, I do want to be able to focus on taking some of this stuff back. But we got ourselves into a lot of trouble in this campaign by having too many enemies at one time. And we've kind of improved that situation a bit. We're down to, quote unquote, down to 6 enemies right now, several of which aren't even really an issue for us, like Clan Mulder. They declared war on us at the beginning of this campaign. We've never even seen one of their armies. Bellicor's not really caused us any grief. The others, this Redhorn tribe, I don't really even remember where we saw them. The others have caused varying degrees of trouble. But what I want to check is, now that we've taken the only settlement that they owned that we cared about, is it possible that we could get the Black Pit tribe to make peace with us? Probably not, because we're their only enemy at this point. But I'm going to just check. Oh, no, they would. Okay, so this is interesting. I don't mind the idea of continuing to war with them, because they are a bit of a pain. I mean, fighting battles against them would get us some loot, and they are probably pretty winnable battles. And they are a pain in the butt that in the long term we want to get rid of. However, having said that, I'm a little concerned that if we made peace with them, they would raid our territory. But better raiding our territory than slowing us down. And what I kind of feel like is we're at war with Festus, and we're at war with Wulfric. So by making peace with the Black Pit tribe, that gives us these two armies that we could turn around and use to focus on Festus and Wulfric. And also it buys us a little bit of time to get Delbers. Look at how badly that garrison needs to be replenished, for example. So I think I'm going to do that. Kind of like what we did with Khazrak. We defeated 4 of his armies over here, and he sued for peace and actually paid us money to do it. Black Pit Tribe, I think, is going to pay us some money here as well. It may not be a ton, but let's do it. We'll get an opportunity to go back to war with them at some point, but they're giving us 2,000 for it. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so they're not at war with anybody, but I think it's incredibly likely, because of where they're located here, that they will end up going to war with somebody else, and it's, you know, any of their other neighbors are people who are long-term enemies of ours. So should be fine. Now we're going to put you into encampment stance so you don't suffer attrition. Our corruption here is problematic. We're only dropping it by 3 per turn. But if we can start dealing with some of these other things like Schoppendorf here, and in particular Middenheim, which the garrison there is very beatable. And Schoppendorf's garrison is very beatable as well. So yeah, this... If we could take one or both of those, then that will help the corruption overall. So, in other words, I don't think I'm going to use the prestige to reduce corruption here. Not just yet. Okay, meanwhile, let's go ahead and apply our skills here. So you got a skill up. We'll go ahead and give you Into the Shadows. I don't see why not. You,
I will marshal the men.
Mr. Engineer, you're already maxed out on increased mobility. What about machinist preparations here? Basic ammunition gains increased range and armor-piercing missile damage. Gains a short-range explosive damage ammunition switch. That'll be interesting. We'll try that out. I've not played the Empire all that much, so some of these things I'm actually trying out for the first time since the Thrones of Decay DLC came out. Okay. And so, Gregor Braun, you're replenishing. You're in pretty good shape. Elspeth, you desperately need replenishing, but you've also got room in your army for something, for 2 more units. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with you. You don't have a a wizard. I almost said a sorceress, but that's, Michael, that's the Malekith campaign. Okay, we'll go ahead and give you... No. You've got 3 in Emperor's Finest. You've got 3 in Pistol Corps. And you've got 3 in Honest Steel. That's a waste of 3 skill points, but obviously the AI did that before we confederated. Spearmen, swordsmen, flagellants, and halberdiers. She boosts. Missile infantry, missile cavalry, and missile chariots. Okay. And great swords and demigriff knights. That's what she's missing, is cavalry. That would be nice to try to get her some cavalry. And does she does, I think we looked at this last time, she does not personally provide any benefits to any particular heavy cavalry, but it is over in Nuln where we can recruit the what are these guys called? They're not. It's not the Blazing Sun. It's the other ones. It is. It's this right here. The Black Rose, Knights of the Black Rose. Okay, so that's got nothing to do with her. It's got everything to do with Nuln. So Still, thematically, I think it would make sense to try to get those into her army. Anyway, we're obviously not going to be able to recruit them from here. We could do some global recruiting if we wanted to, but I don't think our money situation is so good that we really want to do that. So I'm not exactly sure what we're going to recruit with her just yet. Might just throw some cheap units into her army for the time being. But we may as well go ahead and start working our way up the red line here towards these, which are really good. So we'll do that. Let's go ahead and get these other folks their skills up. Increase mobility for sure. And then you get one more. We'll give you piercing shots. And then you, Rudy Brandt. For anybody who missed it back when we first got him, I have a particular fondness for this guy because my own personal last name is Brandt. Okay. Let's go with hard to hit, hard to say no to that. And then looks like we got ourselves a new ancillary. There's no. Yeah, we've got a multitude of weapons. We've got superfluous weapons, but not enough armor. Anyway, we give you an agitator, which is control. Yeah, absolutely. I don't see any reason not to do that. Lots of ancillaries. Okay. Alrighty. How did I miss the one that... There it is right there. Okay, the whatever was causing the exclamation point there. Okay. So you desperately need to heal up. The whole army needs to heal up, which basically means... she's probably going to be stuck for a couple of turns. But Gregor Braun, you, my dude, we're going to move you up towards Mindheim, I think. This army up there, we need visibility on what's going on up there. Oh, Theodore Bruckner. Okay, I wanted you to get over here into this army. You've already moved. Okay, never mind. You can't go any farther this turn. You are going to stay here. The question is, am I going to continue to recruit for you? Well, we'll decide that after we fight this next battle, which is going to be where? Over here. I think what I will do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and move
Bring me to my men.
Karl Franz towards Marienburg. I don't care that I'm trespassing in his territory. Oh, no, wait a minute. This is... Yeah, let's do... That's interesting. It looks like I can move him a little bit farther if I click up here. Maybe that's not really any closer. I don't think there could possibly be anything that we're at war with who is going to ambush us if we go this way. My only concern is that sometimes it's misleading what the path it shows and how far you actually get. But we're going to risk it because we need maximum speed to get over towards Marienburg as quickly as possible. So let's go ahead and do this. We're trespassing. I don't think he's going to declare war on us. Not yet. We just made peace with him a couple turns ago. We're close enough anyway that if he did attack us, the Bogenhof and Garrison would come out and help. So that's not really a... Well, no, because he can ambush us. Kazrak. If he declared war on us, he could ambush us. It's fine. They're not going to ambush you, Michael. This is going to rebel, unfortunately, right away, and he's not close enough to deal with it yet. And I could turn this off if I wanted to save one turn. But we lose 1,800 in order to do that. The garrison is not at full strength, though. Still, I think it's probably strong enough to defend itself for one turn. I guess the question is, will that be able to reach next turn? Yeah, it looks like I can get there next turn. Unless the enemy army is in the way. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to leave it the way that it is, but I could change my mind later. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and do this. Like I said, this should be a pretty straightforward battle. decisive victory. Again, for anyone new, I almost never auto-resolve anything except for the most ridiculously one-sided battles. This is a pretty one-sided battle, but I'm going to fight it anyway. I think it's just going to be a regular field... Oh, no, this is even more reason to fight it is because of the battle map. However, they're going to have to come towards us because our artillery advantage is going to force them to. I just find I get bored with the game a lot quicker if I'm auto-resolving too many battles, so I try not to ever get into the habit of it. Plus, you know, fighting battles is really my favorite part of the game. Alright, start deployment. They've set up over there. Let's go ahead and put ourselves in a position to bombard the heck out of them as they come closer. Now, just sometimes very helpful with artillery in particular, really though, any ranged units, to take a look from down here at ground level just to make sure you don't have any 2mm high hills in front of you, which your stupid units will sometimes completely not fire in that case. Let's go ahead and put you guys a little bit more over here, I guess. You can kind of fire into the side of them as they come forward, but obviously you need some protection. So let's go ahead and do... Let's do this. And then the other three of you, let's do this. Actually, I'm going to leave you a little bit farther back. You're my last line of defense. And also, hopefully you can sit out the fight entirely. You guys can get over here. Now, we are going to have some Vargeists here that will probably come directly at our artillery. So we need to make sure that we're in position to deal with them. Let's go ahead and get you guys in between our artillery so you can fire over in that direction or over in this direction depending on where the Vargeists go. And then finally you can fly, so in a pinch we can get you to engage the Vargeists. Preferably, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, in front of these crossbows. You, I think we want you with the... Oh, let's put you over here. Let's get you with the volley guns. And then Valmir Blaze, you are mounted. Get you over here. And let's start the battle. Let's go ahead and have our artillery firing from the get-go. All three of you, I want guard mode. Probably the crossbows as well. Alright, this is interesting. They're not coming towards us right. Well, here's the Vargeists. Okay. So let's go ahead and get in anticipation here. Oh, there's the Varg Gulf as well. Okay, we need you.
We are ready. By God, Miraz! Damn it!
Okay, right here. Get on them crossbows. You make sure that you shoot them. Okay. And you need to debuff them.
Look out, spellcaster!
Oh my goodness, you're taking so much damage from our own units. Okay, let's get you guys here. You, volley guns, shred them. You guys, get on them. Okay, this is good. Oh, I totally forgot about you guys. Okay, you guys get over here. Alright, you guys need to be shooting at those Grave Guard. Okay, right here, boom.
Obey me! It will be done! Raise your weapons!
Yeah, this is why we fight the battles manually, is because sometimes you have a few surprises, and I did a particularly bad job of fighting this with respect to
Pick your targets! No lingering!
allowing my own Hellstorm rocket batteries to do damage to my wizard. But I think we're okay now. Let's go ahead and do this. Maybe over here.
Celestial might!
And let's go ahead and debuff over here
I foresee their deaths!
and buff him. And then you guys need to get in on those Black Knights. You guys at this point should probably stop firing entirely.
Hold fire for now!
You can't shoot, but it's okay. Let's turn you off as well. Oh, I completely forgot Sterling came into this fight as well. I could have let Sterling do a little bit more fighting. Okay, I think there goes the Lord. I think we're in pretty good shape at this point. Yep. Alright, we got a little bit dinged up, but it's fine. Okay. A little bit more prestige, always good. Very little bit of money, unfortunately. But the experience is pretty good. And was enough to level up, so we'll take that. And I think maybe... yeah, we'll take a little bit more money. We did wipe out that army, which is the nice thing about fighting the vampires, the vampire counts as a rebel army, is that they are all disintegrated. Got ourselves yet another magic weapon, and... oh, that's considered an enemy of Sterling. Interesting. Okay, so... oh, that's how we got the Sword of Bloodshed. Okay. Diplomatic relations plus 40 with Sterling. Okay, and... yeah. Let's go ahead and apply that skill up, I suppose. Spin my camera around here so I'm not all discombobulated. Okay. I think maybe we'll give you Iron Disciplinarian. Wait a minute. Is that really what I want to do? Yes, it is really what I want to do. Never mind. Okay. And then you, Hans Frankenwerder here, you already have Arcane Conduit. Could do Chain Lightning. I think I'm going to do the Missile Resistance. That's always really good to get, Missile Resistance. Particularly when you're flying around, that's going to make you quite a target. Alright, so now the question is, Blighted Towers, their public order is back under control.
So?
You need to finish your turn somewhere where you can replenish, but that's fine. I think what I'm going to do is probably race him over in this direction. It's going to take him a while to get there. Let me just make sure I don't desperately need him down here. Yeah, we're not about to have another rebellion down here. We've got this building, the tap room, on its way to being built. Let's go ahead and upgrade that while I'm thinking about it. So that tap room is going to help. Now he's still going to rebel in the long run because that military crackdown is going to be less effective each turn. But we have a little bit of time down there.
The Empire.
So keeping that in mind, I think if I race you up here towards Talabheim, if you get there in time, we might be able to merge these two armies together. These 14 plus
Yes, my lord.
whatever we want to keep out of that army, which quite frankly, there's not a whole lot here I do want to keep long term.
Yes, a sound plan.
Let's go. I might keep the spears at least until we know what's going to happen with
It is for the best.
the mammoths. Okay. So you're getting pretty good replenishment. That's good. You're only one turn away from being able to help Talabheim. So if they don't attack us this turn,
What?
then I think we're in
To the
pretty good shape.
provinces.
We're going to be able to get you then up into this army. Now I just realized in terms of merging these two armies, that's actually not what I want to do, because I want to keep this army, because I want to keep Emil von Corden here. I want to keep him around. So what we need to do is we just need some better units in his army. So now that we're no longer considering this an emergency army, but we can start to consider what we want to do with him long term, we could start to give him some things. Like, I really like these Hochland long rifles. So let's give him a couple of those. And he's good with, I'm trying to remember which cavalry he's good with. Demigriff Knights, I think, is what he's good with. Demigriff Knights. All cavalry. Demigriff Knights. Okay. This is probably not the best place to be recruiting the Demigriff Knights, but it's okay. It just happens to be where he's at. So we're going to go ahead and try to get a couple Demigriff Knights here. It's going to take 2 turns to recruit them in, but I don't plan on moving him anywhere anytime soon.
The nation calls.
You do need... We need to keep doing the red line with you to figure out what other units you're going to be good at. But great swords is the other thing that he's good with. So what we'll eventually do is we'll replace these spearmen with great swords. But for now, we need him to survive any trouble up there. We also have to remember that Festus has this army right here in the riverway, which is not really strong enough to take any of our settlements, but he's going to be a nuisance until we deal with him. Okay. I think we're probably okay with all of our armies where they're at right now. Let's go ahead and make sure that nobody's got any movement left. Okay. Yep. Settlements-wise, Talabheim, Fildorf, Blighted Towers. This is not where I want to spend 4,000 right now. Nuln, this is not where I want to spend 4,000 right now. Delberts, you're fine for the moment. Altdorf, yes. Okay, 3320. We definitely want to keep upgrading you. We'll upgrade that as well. So there's our money. There goes all our money. And then Marienburg. Do I want the rebellion to happen? I think it's worth waiting 1 turn. 1,800. We're losing 1,800 by doing it, but we're delaying the rebellion long enough for Karl Franz to get over there.
I see no other option.
Here's what I'm a little bit curious about. Okay, never mind. 10, his, this army
The nation calls.
is providing 10 public order. I want the rebellion to happen, I just am debating whether to let it happen over this end turn. If I do this, there's nothing here that's changing from 1 turn to the next, although Confederation... Okay, There's only 2 turns left on Confederation. This will take it to minus 97. Then if I turn this back on, next turn, even with this army over here providing plus 10, it's still going to rebel. I think that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and spend the, quote-unquote, spend the 1800 to delay that rebellion by 1 turn. We do have 2508 here. Let me just see what we might want to do. And I very much appreciate the comment that somebody made about increasing the population. Open the gates. We could... This is only 500 prestige. And it could very well be worth doing at some place like Altdorf, for example, to try to grow Altdorf as quickly as possible. I'm not sure I'm going to do it this turn because Altdorf is already in the process of leveling, and we don't really have enough money to be able to keep up with the pace of population growth anyway. Inquisition, this is 1,000. Obviously, if I did this over here in Marienburg, that could would I rather spend 1,000 prestige versus 1,800 gold is a question. I don't think I would. Conscription, that could have been useful for that emergency army over there, but not important anymore. Send aid, no. Requisition, nah, don't need that. Casus Belli. No, definitely not. And Unify, we're not in a position to do that either. I don't think we desperately need to improve relations with anybody. Stirland is the only faction remaining that we could even do that with. They obviously like us right now anyway. At least thematically, I think we have stuck true to, held true, whatever the proper expression is, to our ideals of being the altruistic leader of humanity here. And we have confederated a few times, but only as emergencies after doing everything we can to help the other imperial lords defend themselves. Thematically, they have eventually realized they've had to kind of allow themselves to join up with Karl Franz, to merge with Reichland for the good of the Empire, all except Stirland, who has been an ever-present thorn in my side throughout this entire campaign. I also want to check and see what their Stirland, their fealty is only 5 out of 10. Okay, so we're not going to be confederating them anytime soon, but we're also not going to declare war on them. We'll confederate them if and when we get to that point. Okay, research available. Trade and industry, what can we do here? Continuous production is pretty good. 4 turns, minus 10% for all buildings. As we're kind of expanding, that could be quite useful. Guildmaster professors, construction cost minus 25% for resource-producing buildings and minus 1 construction time. It's a little bit more situational, plus it takes longer. Rifled barrels, this is really nice. I'm going with rifled barrels. That's too good to pass up. Okay. And for our missions here, we've got a raid Schoppendorf. We probably can do that possibly as soon as next turn or the turn after if we want to. But I might not even want to raid it. I might want to just try to take it back. It's only 1,600 treasury if we do it. We still haven't gotten credit for the mightiest fortress. Even though Marienburg is level 5, it's because it already was by the time we confederated them. We do have quest battles that we need to fight as well. Karl Franz is actually maybe not too far away from being able to do those, but I want to finish replenishing first. Okay, I think then let's check our diplomacy out and finally be ready to do an end turn. Okay, nothing to do from a diplomacy standpoint. Let's,
Death comes to us all.
let's go ahead and do this. This is I'm very curious about this, and I'm very curious about this. This right here. I think as long as that army is by itself, and so in other words, if Festus doesn't have another army floating around that can join him, then I'm pretty sure Beck can defend itself from that army. He's only level 9 Lord. I don't know what level that sorcerer is, but those units for the most part do not scare me. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. Supervisor for Valmir Blaze, that's always good. Okay, so now that the High Elves have taken part of Albion, it looks like there's still a little bit more for them to take. I'm assuming that maybe Ivris is going to continue to try to take the rest of Albion there. Do I have a defensive alliance with Ivris? I don't think so. I'm not sure why I'm able to see what they're doing over there. Maybe, yeah, maybe Bretonia can actually see that far. Speaking of Bretonia, Broken Axe Tribe is still over here causing mischief. Sylvania is... okay, didn't really get to see much of what they're doing. Long term, we obviously want to start heading towards Sylvania as well. Oh man, that's annoying. Well, there goes Theodore Bruckner. Okay, he's in our territory, but he's in march stance. And like I said, he's not strong enough to attack Beck. So now it's just going to come down to Wulfric, really, unless something unexpected happens. Okay. Yes, we will certainly join a war against Broken Axe. That's fine. We don't need more enemies right now, but Broken Axe is not in a position to cause us too much trouble. And here's Wulfric. Okay, we didn't even get to see what Wulfric did. Probably he's just recruiting and standing still. Okay, I'm very unimpressed with that, Stirland. You moved about 2 steps. You could have come up there to help us fight Wulfric, and instead you have decided to completely drag your feet. You're back to annoying me. At this point, Emperor Karl Franz is predisposed to judge Stirland quite harshly because of all the trouble that they've caused. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is a big problem in the game, as far as I'm concerned. The diplomacy, I don't want to say it completely needs to be reworked, but Black Pit Tribe knows perfectly well that we're allied with Corone, and they've turned around and declared war on our ally, forcing us to go right back to war with them again, even though they just paid us money to make peace with them. And either way, our reputation is going to take a massive hit, because that's how this game works, is that even though it was completely busted AI, it was the Black Pit Tribe who made the diplomatic blunder there, we're the ones who are going to suffer a reputation hit for it. Okay, Elector Greed. While the Emperor's armies march forth, our nobles barter with each other, claiming great swaths of land for themselves. Should the common man, the brave soldier, not have a farmstead on which to retire? Interesting. So take it back. That's politics. -2 control all provinces, but +4 leadership. This is for 3 turns. Or they rule. The politics of Altdorf court are deep and complex. You will need the favor of both Graf and Noble in the campaign to come. Better to keep them on side. We get a little bit of money out of it, but we have -10 leadership when fighting against humans. But we're not going to be fighting against humans that I can think of, right? Norskans. Yeah, Norskans are human. Better not do that. We'll take this. I can afford the -2. Okay, the Elector Counts have started discussions about new decrees that will reduce the amount of power they wield as a group across the whole empire while also increasing the autonomy of each of their states. It is essentially a step towards political decentralization, which is the exact opposite of everything we've done in this campaign, so it's absolutely ridiculous. This is, again, not very well thought out by CA, where these events are just random instead of having anything to do with how the campaign's actually going. But anyway, we'll consider this like a counter-revolution in the making, where there are people who are opposed to the increasing centralization that we have been imposing. Anyway, it is essentially a step towards political decentralization, with those who oppose the planned decrees even going as far as saying that it may be the beginning of the end of the Great Union of the Empire. Putting your political efforts into preventing the decrees may be the best thing to do for the Empire, but you must be tactful in how you proceed with addressing such a highly charged and important issue. Okay. Lobby against the decrees. The Empire's power is rooted in cooperation policies made by the collective. This is probably what we want to do. Propose an alternate decree, which the fealty of Stirland would go up by 1, but we would lose 1,000. Or lobby for decrees. The fealty of all Elector Count factions goes down by 1. We'll spend the 500. Now, we'll propose an alternate decree and start moving Stirland's fealty up a little bit. I think we can afford 1,000 prestige. Okay. Game being saved. There's our supervisor. Faction destroyed. Carcassonne. Okay. Wounded. Incredibly disappointed by that. Imminent rebellion. Yes, yes. Okay. So let's take a look here at this. Yeah. So Stirland, you're now up to 6. Okay. That's good. Units recruited. Buildings constructed. Raiding, of course. And war declared. So let's check this out. Ivres and Malekith. Okay. Malekith and all the high elves, basically. All right. This is fine. This is the dwarfs and greenskins. This is fine. This is the beastmen and dwarfs. This is fine. That's the one we joined. The Black Pit tribe against the Bear Legion, and also against Stirland, and also against Corone, and also against us, obviously. Well, actually, we had to declare war on them, and this is what I wanted to see. Okay, we didn't take the reliability hit, so I take it back. I thought it was going to punish me for declaring war on the Black Pit tribe, but it didn't. Okay. Game, I do apologize for that. Okay.
Prince and Emperor.
I still think it was pretty stupid for the AI to pay me for peace and then turn around and immediately essentially be declaring war on me right after, like literally as soon as possible, right after we had just made peace. First things first, I'm turning you back on. We desperately need that money. You could actually reach. But I don't want to go into Marienburg completely.
In the name of Magnus.
Because I want to, I wasn't thinking about the attrition. Well, we don't want attrition. So we're going to move in encampment stance. We can move awfully far here for being
Move!
in encampment stance. Okay, so you're poised now to deal with the rebellion. The rebellion is still going to happen, so that's fine. And you're going to be completely replenished just in time to fight that battle. Okay? Bogenhofen, the garrison there is looking good. Kazrak, I don't love him being this close to us, but I don't think he's going to declare war on us just yet. Right here, we could obviously go ahead and fight this army, and in fact, I think we probably will want to now.
Elspeth von Draken.
We can...
So,
I think we do definitely want both armies to join it. They're back to full strength. So, yeah, we definitely want both armies. Unfortunately, you're awfully dinged up here.
to the provinces.
It's all right. You're going to get a little bit more dinged up because you're going to join this
Shaiish
fight.
empowers me.
So you're going to go to here. Actually, let's move you to maybe here. I think they're going to retreat from us. I'm going to launch the attack then with Valmir
To
Blaze.
strengthen the Empire.
Not Valmir Blaze, Gregor Braun. Before I do that, Delbers, you're suffering massive public order problems. Definitely need to do something about the corruption in these different provinces. Altdorf, you're fine. You're growing. However, you also have public order issues. And we definitely need... Yeah, we definitely need our garrison. Okay, I want to take a look at this. Our buildings here, yeah, our garrison is going to need to grow. I think at this point I might be more incentivized to go ahead and do the basic walls building here. It doesn't improve the towers at all, but it does give them much better units in the garrison. Okay, it might be worth getting, like, dumping. Probably not the weave. I might dump the fields. No, we need the growth, Michael. We need the growth. Well, I'll use one of the open slots that we get from upgrading Altdorf to a town to build the walls building. Okay, it's fine. I don't think I know. I promised the good people of Altdorf to not allow them to be taken again, and here I am already mucking about with leaving them vulnerable. Okay, that army plus these armies, they're starting to be a little bit more threatening towards Talabheim, but Valmir Blaze, you can get as far as Talabheim now, or I can send you over in the direction of Beck. Actually, oh yeah, no, you need to stay there because you're still recruiting. I think we're probably going to want to move Valmir Blaze towards Beck, but I don't want to move him to here. If this is all the farther I can move in March stance, I think it makes more sense for him to stay like right here, where he's close enough for the garrison plus that army to reinforce him if he were to be attacked. Which he could be, because they've got these two armies. Okay.
What trickery is
Yeah,
this?
this is not a good idea, because he
Not a chance.
could come and lay siege to Talabheim with this army, and then he could use Wulfric's army to attack Valmir Blaze if Valmir is, like, right here. So we need to go cross-country, is what we need to do. Far enough away where they're not going to be able to attack us. So it is what it is. It's a little bit slower, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
to strengthen the Empire.
Getting that supervisor trade is really useful. I think you're going to be close enough to reach Beck. Yeah, you can reach Beck in one more turn. That'll be good. So it all depends on what he's doing, what this army right there does. But I don't think it did. If he was going to attack Beck, he would have done it this past turn. All right, you obviously are staying where you are.
Yes, my
Talabheim,
lord.
you're fine. Okay.
Who calls?
Elspeth, yeah, you obviously we don't want to leave you here long term. You need to replenish. But here we go. Do I have enough time in this? No, I don't have enough time. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this attack. They're probably going to retreat. We'll set ourselves up then to attack them at the beginning of the next episode. I mean, to fight the battle at the beginning of the next episode. So just then, before I do this, because it's going to save the game here, let me just make sure we've done everything that we need to do. By the way, during the holidays, I have a little bit less time to play, so I'm trying to get these episodes out one per day, but I've had to cut them a little bit shorter than normal. I think as the holidays are winding down here, like we had family visiting today, but as the holidays are winding down here, I think I'm going to be able to get back towards the 90-minute episodes soon. Yeah, that's fine. That commandment is fine. Okay, I think we're in good enough shape here where we're okay with letting the game save at this point. So we're going to go ahead and actually one more thing I want to do is just double check our magic items. I know everybody's got a weapon already, so I will just sit tight. I don't know, man. This Sword of Bloodshed's awfully good. Let's find somebody to give that Sword of Bloodshed to.
It is time.
Sword of Swift Slaying. This is melee attack and AP weapon damage. Sword of Bloodshed is attack and weapon strength. We're going to give this to Gavin Meyer, or do we want to give it to Rudy Brandt? Where are you at, Rudy?
Lady of
Oh, you've already got a
Shaiish.
blue. Okay. Yep, let's give it to this warrior priest.
Yes, my lord.
It's a step up. Okay. Good enough. Let's go ahead and let the game save here. I'm assuming he's going to
It
retreat.
is war.
Yep. Okay. It's saved right there. We obviously have enough movement that we can go ahead and...
Dark Lady.
I
of
could even
Rome.
make the attack with Elspeth. She's got a little bit more in the way of
For
artillery,
Verena and Nuln.
which might be good. Anyway, we'll decide this then at the beginning of the next episode. One of these two armies will attack with the other one reinforcing. And this should be good. This is going to be a fun battle because she's only got a 13 stack, but really good units, and led by a level 26 Lord. So yeah, that'll be fun. And then that army up there is not too big of a deal. Are they considered in our territory? They are. Art Delbert's actually goes all the way up to there. Very interesting. All right, well, it's a little bit unfortunate the way that worked out, where we're back to fighting them instead of being able to focus on Festus and Wulfric, but it's fine. At this point, I think we're still making positive progress in every episode, which is definitely where we need to be. So, okay, we'll pick up here in the next episode. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and I will see you then.